I still remember the moment my sister barged into my apartment that morning with that ridiculous look on her face. She practically yanked the door open and slapped a text on my phone from my dad. I stared down at it and felt the air crack around me. "No, you're not invited to Dad's birthday." The words were capitalized, and under them, Dad had added, "Sorry, son, just family." That's when something inside me snapped. The weird thing is, I loved my dad. He's the kind of guy who shows up early to pick me up from college, pretends to hate it, but secretly texts me, "Proud of you." He's also kind of traditional, family first, always. But this wasn't tradition. It was exclusion. I didn't just feel hurt. I felt disrespected, used, disposable. So I looked at my sister. She shrugged. He wouldn't say it in person. But yeah, you're banned. Her tone was casual, like she was telling me I couldn't have a second slice of cake. I shoved the phone down, my heart pounding. I could let it go, skip the party, get over it. But I thought, if I'm old enough to be the one paying for Dad's retirement gifts, I'm old enough to protect my own dignity. That's when I remembered. Dad's birthday trip involved his private jet, a sleek, company-owned jet that he treated like his personal plaything, the one he used to fly to fancy family getaways, the one I had set up surveillance cameras for, because he asked me to, and I did it without question. But here's the thing, the jet was on my dad's company credit. In my role as the company's IT manager, I had full control over flight scheduling. I knew emergency override protocols. I knew which employees handled it. And I knew, if I wanted to, I could cancel the flight. And suddenly, I wasn't just hurt. I was in control. I paused. And then I started taking screenshots. Of the text, of the delivery time. I saved every detail. My finger hovered over my laptop. I wavered for a second. But I kept typing. I changed the flight to maintenance mode. I added mandatory inspections. I blocked his user access. I made sure the logs showed it wasn't just a glitch. It was a deliberate, technical shutdown. In 15 minutes, that jet wouldn't fly. And just like that, plans changed. A few hours later, I got the first call. It was from my aunt. "Hey, sweetheart, any idea why the jet isn't cleared for takeoff?" I played dumb. "What do you mean? It says something about a maintenance lock. We're all packed and ready to go. Your dad's freaking out." I could almost hear her squinting through the phone, trying to decode my tone. "I haven't touched anything," I said, which technically was true. I didn't want I hadn't touched the jet itself, just the system around it. She hung up, confused, and I sat back in my chair, heart still racing. I wasn't gloating. This wasn't about revenge for the sake of it. This was about respect, about reminding them. I stared at the screen, let it ring, and ring. Then finally, I answered. "Hey," I said. "What did you do?" His voice was low, tight, not angry, yet. More like he was still hoping this was all a coincidence. I didn't answer right away. "You locked the jet?" he asked again. "I didn't ban anyone from anything," I said. "So, what exactly are you accusing me of?" He went quiet. Then he sighed. "We didn't think you'd care. You're always busy. We figured you wouldn't want to come to this one." "That's funny," I said, "because the message said I wasn't invited, not that you thought I wouldn't want to come. Big difference." "I didn't write that," he snapped. "No, you just approved it," I said. "Or let it happen. Same thing, really." I heard him breathing hard on the other end. "This isn't how you handle things." "No," I said, calm now. "This is how I handle being treated like I don't matter." More silence. Then he said, "You've made your point." "Have I?" I said. "Because I don't think I have, but I'd be happy to continue the lesson if we're still unclear on whether or not I'm part of this family." He hung up, and I let him. An hour later, my sister showed up again. She wasn't laughing this time. "They're calling everyone," she said, "trying to rebook commercial flights. Dad's furious. But not just at you." "Oh?" "Yeah, at himself, and Mom, and Aunt Priya. They were all in on it. They thought if they left you out, things would be easier. Less drama." I looked her dead in the eye. "What about you?" She didn't answer right away. "I didn't fight it," she said finally. "And that's on me." I nodded. "Yeah, it is." She looked at the ground. "I'm sorry. I really am." For a second, I wanted to forgive her right there, but I held it. "Tell them to enjoy commercial seating," I said. "First class if they're lucky." She didn't smile, just nodded and walked away. That night, I got a call from my mom. I almost didn't pick up, but I did. Her voice was quiet, shaking a little. "Your father's not doing well." I sat up. "What do you mean?" "He's embarrassed, humiliated. He's not used to you standing up to him." "I'm not standing up to him," I said. "I'm standing up for me." She paused. "It was wrong to leave you out. I knew it when we did it. I should have said something." I could hear tears in her voice, and it hit me in the chest. Because for all the hurt I'd carried, I hadn't stopped loving them. That's what made it burn so badly. You know what hurts more than not being invited? I said. Knowing that the people who raised me still think I'm the kid who'll just take it. She didn't argue. She just whispered. But then came a text from my dad. Just 4 words. Can we talk today? I didn't reply right away. I wanted to be calm. I wanted to feel like I wasn't stepping into another performance, another guilt trip, another spin the story moment. When I finally texted back, I said, "Only if it's real." He said, "It will be." So, I went. He met me at his office. I could tell by the way he was dressed, less polished, sleeves rolled up, that this wasn't a boardroom conversation. This was personal. He didn't start with small talk. He didn't ask about work or tech or traffic. He just looked at me, sighed, and said, "I messed up." I didn't speak. I let the words hang. He went on. "I thought I was protecting the vibe, keeping things simple, but all I did was show you how easily we'd cut you out when it was convenient. That's not the man I ever wanted to be." I folded my arms. "So why did you become him?" He shook his head. "Because I let your success make me lazy. I stopped checking in. I assumed you didn't need anything. Not a call, not a seat, not even an invitation, because I knew you'd survive without it." "That's not the same as being okay," I said. "I know," he said. We sat in silence. Then he did something I never expected. He opened his drawer, pulled out an envelope, and slid it across the desk. Inside was a printed invite, not to the birthday trip, but to a family dinner at his house. No fancy flights, no announcements, just dinner. He looked me in the eye. "Whatever we've built as a family, I want to rebuild it. With you." I exhaled. I didn't even realize I'd been holding my breath. I nodded. "All right, but no private jet." He smiled. "Deal." That night, we sat around the table. No press, no filters, no pretending. My mom made biryani. My sister brought a cake she actually baked herself. My dad poured wine and didn't lecture anyone about moderation for the first time in a decade. I was quiet at first, listening, watching, wondering if this was just a temporary fix. But then my dad raised his glass and said, "To the one person in this family who had the guts to ground a jet just to be heard." Everyone laughed, awkwardly, but genuinely. And then he added, "We hear you now. You know, I used to think family was about blood, that no matter what, they'd understand you. But the truth is, family is built. It's earned, over time, through respect and effort, and yes, sometimes conflict. Sometimes you have to shut down a jet just to open a conversation. Would I do it again? Honestly, maybe not. But in that moment, I needed to remind them, and myself, that I wasn't invisible. I wasn't optional. I mattered. And now, for the first time in a long time, they see it too.